Mealtimes in colonial days were very different than what they are now. First of all, they had a limited supply of food because they couldn't go over to a supermarket. They basically ate corn. They roasted it, boiled it, baked it, used it in bread as cornmeal. They could do all sorts of it. In fact, they could survive on it if it was necessary. They also ate beans because they would put it in their porridges and eat it hot and cold. They also ate meat, which was basically whatever they could hunt, like squirrels, rabbit, bear, deer, and although a few families kept some pigs for sausage and bacon, like who could survive without those. They also drank very differently than we do because they thought water was bad for them. So they basically only drink cider from apples, peaches, and pears, and they also drank beer because they didn't know it was bad for them. So it was certainly varied, but it was certainly limited at the same time. Their table manners were also very strict. They couldn't speak, they couldn't sing, they couldn't hum, they couldn't wriggle, they couldn't make any noise like slurping and gobbling and stuff like that, all the good stuff about eating. And they couldn't sit because their father had the only chair in the house. They also couldn't stuff their mouths, so if you're like me, you're going to have a hard time eating there. So their table manners were certainly strict. But that wasn't the worst part. They were very unhygienic. Their utensils were their fingers, their spoons, and their knives. Their knives basically were the knives they used for cutting up wood. And they couldn't use forks because they weren't invented until later. They also had only one serving pot for the whole family to put their hands in and take out whatever they wanted. They also had their version of plates, which was called a trencher, and you'd basically share it with your brother and sister. So you can see you wouldn't want to eat then for fear you would get sick. So now, next time you are eating, just be thankful that we aren't in colonial days because they are very different, but it's very gross.